Welcome back, everyone. The iPhone SE3 just ended up coming out officially, so let's go and compare it against the iPhone 12 mini and see which specific phone you should go and pick up. Now, I'll definitely tell you, I'll leave both these phones linked in the description. You can get them from there, help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely see there are a few differences. The iPhone 12 mini is a little bit of a smaller phone, from top to bottom. I think they both kind of feel like the same. Actually, I think the iPhone 12 mini feels smaller in the hand, but look at how much more of a display you're getting on the front of the 12 mini. I mean, this phone is beautiful. It has a 5.4-inch, Super Retina OLED display. It has the notch and everything, but it's really not a big notch. I mean, it's a big notch, but it's not a big deal, I would say. I'm pretty much used to it. The panel looks really good. There's very little bezel around it. You have that gesture-based design, so no home button, but you don't have Touch ID or anything. You're still stuck with Face ID, which I think is good, but it's definitely not a bad panel by any means. I think it still looks pretty good for the most part. Now, with something on the iPhone SE3, on the other hand, you have a 4.7-inch IPS panel. So it's not an AMOLED like this one or OLED like this one, but it is IPS, so there's some advantages for an IPS panel. You have a lot of bezel on the top and bottom as well. You have the home button right here. The bezel, I think, can be an issue for some people. I would definitely tell you this is a more dated phone, but this one is retailing for $429. This one is, I think, $599 or something like that. So it's definitely a little bit more expensive on the 12 mini, but I think the price is, more favorable here because it is a much more better looking phone. Now, in terms of thinness and thickness, the 12 mini is a thicker phone, and it's not like a crazy big difference, but because you do have a flat side on the 12 mini, it does give the impression that it is a little bit of a thinner phone on the SE3 over the iPhone 12 mini, so keep that in mind as well. The volume buttons are almost in the same placement. On the back, you can see we have a different setup, so this is like the mint color version of the 12 mini, a dual camera setup here, single camera setup on the SE3, Apple logos in the same spot, wireless charging, IP certification on both as well, lightning ports at the bottom, speakers in the same spot for the most part. The cameras are much better on the 12 mini with its bigger sensors, but they kind of look and feel like the same thing. Like the glass is exactly the same as well. So when it comes down to the premiumness, one doesn't really feel more premium than the other one. But the 12 mini definitely looks like the more premium phone when it comes down to it. Now, a very interesting thing is even though the 12 mini looks better, the iPhone SE3 actually has some tricks up its sleeve, and specifically within its software longevity. The iPhone 12 mini has that Apple A14 chip inside of it, and although it is still a very new chipset in this phone, and this phone is still being sold brand new and everything, I mean, it's a great phone. It's going to last for a long time, but the iPhone SE3 has a higher likelihood of lasting longer in terms of software. I genuinely don't think it's going to be that much longer. These phones are going to be lasting for a very long amount of time both ways, but if you wanted a phone that's going to last you the longest amount of time, I guess the SE3 may be the better way to go. It has the newest chipset inside versus the kind of year-old chipset on this thing, actually almost 2 years old coming in September. So that's a big thing to keep in mind for the most part. I don't think it's a big deal. I feel like you're going to upgrade your 12 mini to the next version at some point before the software is even done. So software is going to last great on both, but the SE3 may last longer, so keep that in mind. So that covers it up there. Let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone 12 mini has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone SE3 has that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM as well. So let's go and see which one is the faster one. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you guys can see the displays. The glare is very, very annoying, and I try my best to cover it, but let's get into it. All the apps are cleared out in the background, as you guys can see. So let's get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. And actually, the 12 mini looked a little bit faster there. Let's go and hop out of this one. Music, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone SE3 was faster. I guess it may be the first time loading up into this panel here. App Store, 3, 2, 1. SE3 was faster. iPhone 12 mini a bit behind. Scrolling through. Kind of the same thing. The 12 mini looked a little bit better though. Let's go and get into clock, 3, 2, 1. Exactly the same thing. Mail, 3, 2, 1. I think I actually don't know which one was faster. They're both very close. Photos, 3, 2, 1. Kind of the same thing too. Hopping out of this one. Camera, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Kind of covers it up there as well. Hopping out of that one. Let's go and get into clock, 3, 2, 1. I think I already did that one. Hopping out of this one. Let's go and get into notes, 3, 2, 1. The continue sign did get faster, a little faster on that one. Reminders, 3, 2, 1. Kind of the same thing too. Hopping out of there. As always, we have a bunch of these third-party applications we can go and test on both. Let's do Facebook, 3, 2, 1. I do think the iPhone 12 mini was faster there. That one was pretty fast on the 12 mini. Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 mini was actually faster than the iPhone SE3 to get into this panel as well. So very interesting. Stack, 3, 2, 1. Okay, got into that pop-up, got into that pop-up. So we did get into a few pop-ups here. I don't know if one is way faster than the other one in that one, so we'll just skip that one. Thank you, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully we don't get into any more pop-ups because that's very, very annoying. Almost identically the same on both as well. That was exactly the same. Let's do snake first blocks. 3, 2, 1. And I think the 12 mini was faster there too. Hopping out of that one, let's go and get into Netflix. 3, 2, 1. And my main concern is you're getting a new phone. You want it to be faster in every single area. This doesn't seem faster than the 12 mini. What's very interesting is that 3, 2, 1. This is actually a brand new iPhone 12 mini that I just set up. This one is a brand new iPhone SE3 I just set up. So for my iPhone 13, the SE3 seemed faster. From a brand new iPhone 12 mini, this one seems faster. So there's something very interesting going on here that I should probably do more research on. Dropbox 3, 2, 1. The 12 mini is faster here too. BOFA 3, 2, 1. Almost the same, but I think the 12 mini was slightly faster. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. So I do think when it comes down to it, I think a brand new phone, when you're testing both of these, there's a lot of similarities, a lot of overlap. So in this case, this is the first time I'm loading up Temple Run 2. We also got into that pop-up as well. So I don't even think this is as crazy big of a difference as it shows right now, but still, maybe we'll give it to the SE3. Let's go and hop out of this one. Let's go on to Snapchat 3, 2, 1. Almost exactly the same. Let's go and get into Instagram 3, 2, 1. iPhone 12 mini was faster. So this is what I'll tell you. The A15 Bionic chip that's inside the iPhone SE3 doesn't seem like it's that much faster than the iPhone 12 mini. In fact, it looks like the A14 Bionic chip inside of the iPhone 12 mini is faster than this phone. Now you can see right there we got into a little issue with RAM. I don't know if that's the RAM or if that's with that specific application, so let's load up the next one. Okay, looks about the same. So I think there's a pretty weird thing going on. And honestly, when there's a brand new iPhone, it looks like it's just so much faster than a used iPhone. My iPhone 12, I just did a comparison about just right before this, was substantially slower than my iPhone SE3. So I'm not really too sure what's going on. Both these are on the same versions of software and everything. So I'll probably have to look into it a little bit more. So in the meantime, let's go and hit on the cameras. And like I mentioned, dual camera setup on the iPhone 13 or iPhone 12 mini, wide and ultra wide sensor. iPhone SE3 has a single wide angle lens. Both can do 4K at 60 on the back, which is great, but the iPhone SE3 can only do 1080p at 60 or 1080p on the front, which is still good enough, but the iPhone 12 mini can do 4K at 60 on the front, which is really cool. With the iPhone 12 mini, as I've talked about for a couple years now, this camera is very good. I've had very few complaints with this type of camera, and I do think if you're somebody who just wants to get a camera, move on with their life, this is a very solid option. You have a lot of capability within this lens. The 4K 60 on the front and the back is nice, and having that additional ultra-wide sensor is really cool to have. The SE3 doesn't have it. This iPhone has it, which is really awesome, and that also kind of cycles down to other social media applications as well. You still have things like portrait mode and stuff, which is really cool too. So this is a very solid camera. Now, with something like the iPhone SE 3rd generation, I definitely do think it's not a bad camera, but I do think it's a little bit dated nowadays. I mean, you don't have any extra sensors at all. You only have a wide angle lens, which I think is good, but it's almost the exact same camera as the iPhone 8. It's really that with some better image signal processing with the newer chipset and portrait mode. That's pretty much it. Other than that, it's almost identically the same camera. So, although the SE3 is the newer phone, I think the iPhone 12 mini has a better camera. And that kind of takes us to the end of the video. And to be completely honest, I think when it comes down to it, the iPhone SE3 isn't a bad phone. I think it's a phone that has its place, but I just think it's overpriced. For $429, it doesn't really make too much sense. This iPhone is a couple $100 more, but I think it's worth the money, to be honest. What I found out today, though, was that the iPhone 12 mini was faster than my iPhone SE3. Not really too sure why that happened. Almost every single application that I loaded was faster, and the only times that it wasn't faster was because a pop-up came up or something like that. So I'm not too sure what's going on. I'm going to have to do more research on it, but it looks like a brand new iPhone 12 mini is faster than a brand new iPhone SE3. So is the A15 Bionic that much faster than the A14? These things have almost the exact same things inside of them, the 4 gigabytes of RAM, all that good stuff. The SE3 should have been faster. So not too sure what's going on. We'll do more research on it, but the 12 mini is probably the iPhone I'd rather have. The battery life is scheduled to be about the same on both these as well. So that kind of covers it up for the most part. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.